Hello students, welcome to section 21 of linear equation in two variables. In this section we are going to see some important problems from our problem set 1. Those problems are from page number 27, question number 1, sub question 5. In this question the question states that we have ax plus by is equals to c and mx plus ny is equals to d, and if an is not equal to bm, then how many solutions does this pair of equation have? So before we start to try to guess the answer, we need to first understand how to get the answer. So let's take a pair of equations. Let's say I have x plus y is equals to 1. This is my equation number 1, and I'm going to compare this equation with a standard equation a1x plus b1y is equals to c1. Now for my second equation, again I have x plus y is equals to 1. This is my equation number 2, and we are going to compare the second equation by a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. Now you all must be wondering that equation 1 and 2 are the same. Yes, they are the same, and that is why I have written them in two different standard equation forms. So the first equation will be compared to a1x plus b1y is equals to c1, and the second equation will be compared to a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. So now I have a1 is equals to 1, I have b1 is equals to 1, and I have c1 is equals to 1. I have a2 is equals to 1, I have b2 is equals to 1, and also I have c2 is equals to 1. That means if I write a1 divided by a2, that will be always equal to b1 divided by b2, as we can see from this particular set of numbers, and also that will be equal to c1 divided by c2. So I can say that if a1 divided by a2 is equals to b1 divided by b2, that means a1 b2 is equals to a2 b1. Now how does this come in the sense of our question that is given in sub question 5? So our first equation is given as ax plus by is equals to c, and second equation is given as mx plus ny is equals to d. That means I'll compare equation number 1 by a1x plus b1y is equals to c1, a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. Now before we start and make a conclusion for this, let's focus over here. So I have a1 by a2 is equals to b1 by b2, which is also equals to c1 by c2. So whenever I get this kind of ratios, that means both the equations are same. And if we try to look at both the equations, this equation on a graph, I'll draw a graph over here, on a graph will be represented by a single line. Both the equations, equation 1 and equation 2, lie on the same line. So when I try to find solutions for them, I'll have infinite solutions, because I can have a solution here, common solution here, I can have another common solution here, then here, then here, then here, and so on. This line never ends on the graph, and therefore I'll have infinite solutions. So whenever I have a divided by m is equals to b divided by n is equals to c divided by d, that means I am going to have infinite solutions. Because as we saw, the graph is represented for both the equations by one single line, and there can be infinite number of points on that single line. Now back to our question. Our question says that I want an not equal to bm, but in this case if I isolate this particular ratio, then I will get an is equals to bm. Therefore this is not what the question is asking for me, and therefore infinite number of solutions cannot be my correct option. So moving on to our next example. So let's say in this case I have x plus y is equals to 1, and I have x plus y is equals to 4. Now these are two different equations. As you can see, these are clearly two different equations. Again, I'll compare them to two standard equations. This is a1x plus b1y is equals to c1. This is a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. Now in this case, a1 by a2 is equals to b1 by b2. As you can see, a1 is 1, b1 is 1, a2 is 1, b2 is also 1. But this is not equal to c1 by c2. c1 is 1 and c2 is 4. So this ratio is 1 by 4. Therefore, it is not equal to the other two ratios. Now, here comes the question that is this equation solvable? So, if all of you try to solve this equation, you will not find any kind of solution. You can all try this at your home, you can try it in your rough copies, you can check it anywhere. There is no solution for this kind of equation. Therefore, this means that there is no solution possible. So again, if I compare the given equations in our question, which is ax plus by is equals to c, and mx plus ny is equals to d. We have to compare this to our standard equations. This is a1x plus b1y is equals to c1, and a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. Now I have a by m is equals to b by n is not equals to c by d. So again I have an is equals to bm. Now I'm seeing this ratio, I'm seeing this particular ratio. Again, I do not need this because the question does not want me to answer for this particular circumstance or condition in this question. So no solution can also not be the answer. Now moving on to next. Let's say I have an equation x plus y is equals to 1, and now I have x minus y is equals to 1. This is my equation number 1. This is my equation number 2. So this is a1x plus b1y is equals to c1. This is a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. So let's try to write down the coefficients. So I have a1 as 1, I have a2 as 1, I have b1 as 1, and here now I have b2 as minus 1. b2 is not plus 1. If anybody has a doubt, let's see over here. b2y is equals to minus y and y cancels. Here once y and y cancels, I'm left with 1. So b2 is equals to minus 1. Now b2 is minus 1, and I have c1 as 1 and c2 as 4 or c2 as 1. Now here clearly a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, and once a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, it does not matter what the ratio of the constants are. So now we are going to check from our question what equations we have. We have ax plus by is equals to c, and we have mx plus ny is equals to d. This is a1x plus b1y is equals to c1. This is a2x plus b2y is equals to c2. Now before we start solving this, if we try to solve this pair of equations that we used to check the ratio of a1 by a2 and b1 by b2, I'll get the solution of x as 1. I'll get the solution of x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 0. And there is no other solution for this particular pair of equation. So I get just a pair of coordinates for x and y. Therefore, I have only one common solution. So whenever I get a by m not equal to b by n, that means I can cross multiply here. That means an is not equal to bm. In this particular condition, I will always have one common solution. Always, anywhere, any place, I'll get one common solution as long as an is not equal to bn. Now, that means our option A is correct. Now, there is still one option left, that is option D. So, let's analyze option D. Whenever we solve a pair of linear equations, we never in any case get only two solutions. Either I will get one common solution or I'll get infinite number of solutions. So only two solutions is not possible in a pair of linear equations. Therefore, option D is not possible as well. So for question number 5, question number 1, sub question 5, the correct answer is A. I hope this was understandable for all of you. If you have any problems in this, I can explain this once again. Now we'll be moving on to our question from miscellaneous problem set, question number 5. So now we will be going to do question number 5 from page number 29. So this is question number 5, page 29. I have the ratio of salary of skilled and unskilled workers as 5:3. So I'll say salary of skilled worker is X and salary of unskilled worker is equals to Y. Now pay attention, I am saying here skilled worker. I'm not saying skilled workers. Worker means that it is one worker. It's not plural, it's singular. Therefore, this is just one worker. So we need to pay attention to that. So that means if the ratio is salary is 5:3 and total salary of one day of both of them is 720. That means it is given that X salary of one skilled worker plus salary of one unskilled worker, this total value comes as 720. But we have another ratio. This is my question number 1. My other ratio is that X by Y is equals to 5/3. So if I try to solve this ratio, I will get 3 times X 3 times x is equals to 5 times y. Taking 5y to the other side, I will get 3x minus 5y is equals to 0, and this is my equation number 2. So once I get both the equations, all of you can solve this pair of equations and get the answer. If you have any doubt on how I framed this pair of equation, just message me and I'll help you out. Now, moving on to our next question. This is question number 6. On same page 29. Now the question says places A and B are 30 kilometers apart on a straight road. So before we start solving, let's draw the diagram. This is point A, this is point B, This distance is 30 kilometers. Hamid travels from A to B on bike, and at the same time Joseph starts from B on bike and travels towards A. They meet each other after 20 minutes. If Joseph would have started from B at the same time but in the opposite direction instead towards A, Hamid would have caught up in 3 hours. Find the speed of Hamid and Joseph. Now, here we need to find the speed of Hamid and Joseph. So let's say Hamid's speed is x is equals to x and Joseph's speed is y. Now, here it is stated that Hamid and Joseph, let's read the second statement. At Hamid travels from A to B on bike. That means we are going to take two cases. So this is A and this is B. Hamid is going in this direction. So this is from Hamid's perspective. And in this case, we have Joseph over here. Joseph starts from B. He goes to A. This is Joseph's case. Now, at the same time, Joseph starts from B on bike and travels towards A. They meet each other after 20 minutes. So let's consider our case here. Let's say we have this point A and this point B. We're going to represent Hamid by H and we're going to represent Joseph by J. So if Hamid travels this distance H and they meet at this point, that means Joseph must have traveled this distance which has been traveled by him. So we know that both of them reach this point in 20 minutes, as the question statement first says that once they travel towards each other, they meet in 20 minutes. So we know that speed of Hamid is x. So if I multiply x by 20, or we can say this is 1 by 3 hours, we get the distance traveled by Hamid. So x by 3 is the distance traveled by Hamid in 20 minutes. Similarly, for Joseph travels at speed y and he covers that same in 20 minutes, which is 1 by 3 hours. 1 by 3 hours. So Joseph travels y by 3 in 20 minutes. But as we can see from this diagram over here, this total distance is 30 kilometers. That means together Hamid and Joseph have covered 30 kilometers. So here distance traveled by Hamid, which is x by 3, plus distance traveled by Joseph, which is y by 3, this is equals to 30 kilometers. And if we solve this, we'll get x plus y is equals to 90. This is my equation number 1. Now, for our equation number 2, it says that now this is A and B. Hamid is traveling in this direction, and Joseph now, this is B, this is A, Joseph now is traveling in this direction. So now the question says that if Joseph would have started from B at the same time but in the opposite direction, Hamid would have caught him after 3 hours. That means Joseph, that means if I have x into 3, this is hours, 3 hours, is equals to y into 3 plus 30. Now, how to explain this particular equation? We're going to see this in our next slide, or you can see this right here. Let's do this once again. Let's say this is A, this is B. Now, Joseph is going to go in this particular direction. So let's say Joseph travels this amount. Now remember, the distance between AB is already 30 kilometers, and let's say this is point C. That means Joseph has traveled this BC distance in those 3 hours. Now the question also says that when Hamid starts, he catches Joseph at point C. That means Hamid travels all the way till C in those 3 hours. That means the distance that Hamid has covered is his speed x into 3 hours, which is equals to Joseph's speed, which is equals to Joseph's speed plus 30. Now, the reason is because Hamid traveled an extra 30 kilometers over here. So here we have 3x is equals to 3y plus 30, which can also be written as x minus y is equals to 10. Now 3 is common between them, and 3 can cancel, and you will get this equation number 2, which is x minus y is equals to 10, which is my equation number 2. So once I get both these equations, you can solve this and you will get your answers as 60 kilometers per hour and y is equals to 40 kilometers per hour. Now, before we started the equation, there's one more thing that you need to make sure. Hamid's speed here has to be mentioned with the SI unit. I forgot to point this out or write this down. You need to always write this. Hamid's speed is x kilometers per hour and Joseph's speed is y kilometers per hour. That will be all for this section. If you all face any more problems in the problem set, do contact me and I will help you out. Thank you, and this is the end of chapter 1. In the next section, we'll be starting chapter 2, which is quadratic equations.